What's up guys, J-Dub here, and today we are talking about reference mixing. So what is reference mixing? Reference mixing is essentially checking the mixdown and master of your song in different environments. So I'm sure you guys have all heard of the classic example of car test or club test, and basically what you're doing is you're gathering a different set of information which isn't coming through your headphones or your studio environment, so then you can go back into your mixdown and master and actually make notes, make tweaks, and change the balance of your mixdown or master with this new information that you've gained. So what I'm going to talk about today is how that you can emulate these different room environments while you're still working within the DAW. So this is super handy if you're working on a mixdown and master. I'm putting this at the end of my final master chain sort of thing as a reference, then obviously taking it off when I bounce out the mix. But this is how I've been working on my headphones lately. So let's jump over to Ableton and let's get it done. Alright, so now we're over in Ableton. The first thing you're probably going to notice are these massive headphones on my head. So what I'm actually running is the Audeze LCDX headphones, and I've got them running through my Audient ID14 audio interface. So this little setup together for me was an expensive little purchase, but I really believe in investing in your career and investing in yourself. So for me, it made sense to invest this in to have a completely portable setup. But at the end of the day, it is still headphones. So what we're actually talking about is the reference mixing. And this is where I was becoming a little bit unstuck when I first went over to this, because I do a lot of audio engineering for other people. And what we're talking about today is this plugin made by Sennheiser called DearVR Mix. They've been kind enough to send me over a copy of it. I already tried it with the free trial and I was like, yeah, this is dope. So let's talk about it and what it's actually doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to chuck it on the master chain. And essentially what this plugin is doing is going to take the signal that would be sent to your speakers and it's converting it to a signal to be sent to your headphones to emulate the virtual speakers in the control room, which you're looking at here. So if you don't already, chuck your headphones on now so we can hear the difference. So firstly, I'm just going to play the song without DearVR on. So let's just get to the drop here. This is one of my records called Deep Down. Okay, now let's turn it on. So that's mix room A. So that's one of the options, and you can also change out the speakers. So you can put the speakers wide. So a couple of little things I'm going to do when I play through next is just pay attention to what I'm clicking on, because I'm going to start with the stereo, then we're going to go stereo wide, and then we'll just bypass it completely so you can hear what the original record sounds like. So you can hear the sort of difference in the room emulation on the headphones. So let's go. Okay, now we'll flick through a couple of the other control rooms just to show you guys the cool parts of this, so you can get a different point of reference from a few different things. Like, I like working with this right at the end of my mixdown and master process just to see sort of where things set. So I'll show you a couple of different control rooms now, flick through, and then we'll start talking about some of the other things. So mix room B. The classic car test, this one's a good one. I like that it's included. I really like this club one as well, because the club one, you can hear if the record's too boomy in the low end, and you know, every single club you go into naturally has some reverb about it. So you're going to hear basically what your song's going to sound like in an over enhanced sort of reverby area. So that's a really cool one as well between the two mix rooms. So my favorite feature that they've put in here is they've actually put in headphone compensation as well. So if we go over here, we hit that on, turn this on, and it's actually got a range of different headphones in here to choose from. So as we can see here, I got my LCDX headphones here. So I'm going to click on them. The gain, I'm just going to take that to 0. So it's a even reference, because as you would have noticed before, the volume completely dipped down a little bit when we toggled the plugin on and off in the bypass. So let's just do a quick A/B right now of on and off. So bypassing it. So generally, this is what I'm kind of running, is I'm running it straight into the headphone compensation, setting it up with my LCD-X headphones, and then I'm going mix room A. The next thing we'll talk about is the different types of controls that you have in here, which is the ambience and focus. So the ambience is like a wet dry control for the room, like how much reverb and reflections that you have in the emulated room. So what we're going to do here is, let's just hit play on that now. You would have noticed how much more verby and how many more reflections are in that compared to now if we pull it neutral. Or sit it in the middle. So that's basically what the ambience is going to do. So the next one is focus, and focus basically blends the amount of left and right cross signal that you have to create the more realistic listening environment. So the difference here is localize makes it feel like it's coming from these monitors in front of you. So if we push it all the way this way, that's what it's going to feel like. Clarity is going to push it more back into the headphones and make it feel like it's all around you. So we'll do a quick A/B of that so you can see what it's doing there. Okay, so another little added little Easter egg that they have in here is something that I haven't really used that much, to be completely honest, but it is a cool thing, which is this head rotation here that you'll notice this knob. So essentially it's like being in a room, and if you were to swivel on your chair, like I find myself constantly doing, you can actually move this dial with you to push the sound to where you are. So essentially if you're turning, then your ear's going to be in like earshot line of the monitors that you'd be listening to. So let's give this a little play here. Yeah, it's a cool little feature. Honestly, I don't think I'll ever really use it, but I think it's dope. So basically what I'm using mostly is, this is my complete setup. I am using the mix room A. I'm usually switching the ambience just to sort of switch between, and I don't really have a set mode in that, but just going straight in the middle is generally pretty good. And then if I want to feel more in the studio mode, push it more localized on that front. And yeah, it's creating this really cool mixing environment for me, and I'm finding this a lot easier to use with headphones and stuff like that, because some things in headphones don't translate quite as well as what they would in an actual studio environment. So my summary on this plugin, if you're a headphone producer, I think it's an essential, especially if you're mixing and mastering your own tunes. Like, this is just such a cool way to get another reference in your Mixdown. So hopefully you guys learned something from that. Shout out to Sennheiser for sending me a copy, and I look forward to working with them more in the future. Until next time, work hard and stay creative.